All right, guys, Devil's Details 17, the Energetic Threesome. And while this may be one of the more clickbaity names or titles for one of the Devil's Details rules, it is one of the more boring rules at face value, but it's going to give me a chance to talk about something I feel very strongly about what makes CrossFit so special, something I'm very passionate about, something that if you're into this methodology from back in the day, even why I have this cult hat on, why we became a little cultish, because this was such a way of life and a way of thinking about how you attack life with enthusiasm and win at life that way. And when you're in a CrossFit gym, you're surrounded by other people with that same enthusiasm for attacking life. So anyways, what this rule quickly refers to is the three energy systems in the body. There's the creatine phosphate system, the glycolytic system, and the oxidative. Okay, whatever he just said. Going back to the rule where I talked about short, medium, and long workouts, this is very similar to that. And in fact, this is one rule I could have gotten rid of. One, it really makes it nice because I have 21 rules, which is, I want to have 21 rules. But two, it helps me think back to the roots of what CrossFit is. And what do I mean by that? Well, CrossFit is constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity. That is the umbrella. That sentence is the umbrella under which all of the Devil's Details, all the rules sit under. Because when I'm writing workouts for you, I am trying to write constantly varied functional movements executed at high intensity for you guys. That's what we're doing in CrossFit. And CrossFit uses that to say we define fitness in three ways. And what I'm going to say is, guys, is this definition of fitness exists outside of CrossFit. This is a definition of fitness that until CrossFit came along, I can tell you, I remember the days even when I was studying sports medicine in college, no one had defined what fitness was. Very subjective, broad terms. You feel healthy, you feel good, you're capable, all these different things that were impossible to measure. CrossFit came along, and what Glassman's idea was, let's apply the scientific method to fitness. Let's make things measurable and repeatable. Today, we did Jeremy, 2059 of overhead squats and burpees. If you did that a year ago in 7 minutes, and today you did it in 6 minutes, by CrossFit's definition, because you have a higher power output, there you go, a higher power output, you are more fit. Because you can produce more power, you can get the same amount of work done in less time. You can recover better. There's all kinds of things happening there to let you do that. But that's measurable, that's repeatable. That's something when we do it again in a year and you finish 30 seconds faster, we would say you are more fit again. So one of CrossFit's three ways of defining fitness is that you use those three energy systems. And CrossFit has also shown, so the short system, the creatine phosphate system, is when you do a barbell complex, if you run a 50-yard dash, if you're doing 20 pull-ups as fast as you can, and you can rip out pull-ups, that would be the creatine phosphate system. High power, high output, and we run out of juice in that system quickly. Then there's the glycolytic system, which is our 400-meter run, 800-meter run. We're still working faster than we can take in oxygen and convert to energy, but a little bit more time frame of in a few minutes, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes, whatever you want to say. And then there's the oxidative. That's your long-term energy system. I go for a long run, a long bike, a long row. I'm going hiking. That's when we're taking in oxygen using our Krebs cycle without getting too scientific and converting that into energy for the body, and that's very sustainable. I remember being taught in school how it's kind of like shifting gears in a car. I disagree with that, and I do not think it is that clean. I think they are all running all the time, and I think CrossFit has shown that when we do a really long, if we do a really long 10K row, and then suddenly at the end of that I'm asking you to do a 3-rep max clean and jerk. When you do the 3 max clean and jerk, you're using the creatine phosphate system. When you were doing the row, you were using the oxidative system. So it's not like one turns off and the other turns on. They all run, and CrossFit has shown they will all be replenishing themselves in the body. So depending on the task needed at that point in time, I can turn on the system and use the energy system in the body that best applies to that. But that comes with training that, with having to learn how to use our power system when we are fatigued. What are one of my acronyms I use? We build fires, fatigue, resistant strength. We learn to do high power output when we are tired and when we've been working for a long period of time. So there's the energy systems. Then there's the hopper model, guys. This is the second way CrossFit would define fitness. The hopper model is if there's a hopper and you roll it around, you're pulling out different tasks, and there's an infinite number in there. There's a 5-mile run, a 10-mile run, there's a rope climb, max 1 rep pull up, max 1 rep deadlift, 30 clean and jerks for time. When you pull a bunch of tasks out, the person who can average the highest across all of those would be the most overall fit, not the one who can win on 2 and finish dead last on the rest. And a great example of that is Froning. When Rich Froning was winning the games, there was a couple years there, I don't know if he won any events or maybe he only won one, but he never bombed. He was always in the top 5. And because of that, he would win the games easily going away at the end because he had the highest overall level of fitness. So that is another way CrossFit defines fitness. And the last way is the 10 general physical skills. So these are cardiovascular endurance, strength, speed, power, agility, accuracy, balance, coordination, flexibility, and stamina. What I think makes CrossFit different is that when I've talked to you before about us being athletes, that agility, that accuracy, that balance, that awareness of our body in space, ability to learn new skills because we're doing constantly varied movements, that is part of how we define fitness. It is not because you do bis and tris on Monday and chest and back on Wednesday, and so you have big muscles, but you don't have agility, accuracy, and balance. You have some of those things. You may have strength, you may have cardiovascular endurance, but it is all of these skills together. When you have the highest level across all of them, then you are the most fit. And what I would say is, from an evolutionary human perspective, find a better definition of fitness. Find another way to define fitness that makes us most likely to succeed in life from a physical standpoint, and I'll go with that. So you don't need to do CrossFit necessarily to meet these definitions of fitness. If somebody was doing something else and they could come in and we have that hopper model and we do it at the games, and that's why in the past the games is challenged. Come from any other sport and see if you can beat us at this stuff, because we are going to test a broad range of skills, a broad range of physical capabilities, and if you finish on highest on average across the board, you're the most fit, even if you don't do CrossFit. I think CrossFit has proven it is the best way to, because we're training with these definitions of fitness in mind, but they exist outside of CrossFit. They are the definition of fitness, and the best one I know of, having been in this field for pretty much all of my adult life. CrossFit just is training towards these goals. So having said that, what are the side benefits of that? As you guys know, you look good. Going back to the Beautiful People episode, you sleep better, you recover better. All these things go along with training toward this kind of method of working out. And this is what makes CrossFit so special and so different, is that we can prove our fitness. At any given time, it is not how I look. And that's why I say, guys, you've heard me say this, I don't care what the scale says. You know how you look naked. You know when you like how you look naked. Beyond that, we can test your fitness, and we can know, based on different physical tests across the board, are you more physically fit today than you were a year ago, than you were 5 years ago? It's not subjective. It's not, this is how I feel right now. No, we can test it. Guys, I think that is pretty much this rule, the Energetic Threesome. And boy, did I open up a can of worms with that. But I'm going to touch on one other thing here, and this may be a little volatile too here at the end. CrossFit also talks about the methodology, talks about eating meat, vegetables, nuts, seeds. Let me get that right. Some fruit, little starch, no sugar. There are a lot of CrossFit athletes today that come to CrossFit that have never worked out at the gym. They're frankly uneducated on the CrossFit mindset of how to live your life, how to eat in combination with how to train. And you see these guys, and after their workout, they can eat M&Ms and gummy bears or really big cookies. And guys, no one loves cookies more than me. I love cookies. You guys all know that. But, oh, I can eat this and I can still be ripped and perform at this level. You've also heard me say a lot, you can't out-train a bad diet. Okay, so you can't and I can't. They can temporarily. And what I mean by that is, When you're young, this is a young man's game. When you're young and you're also working out 8 hours a day and the energy output you're doing is overwhelming, then for a while you can still perform at that level eating this stuff. What I will argue is, and we're starting to see that now, is there's a price to be paid when you fuel the machine that way, instead of eating, you know, let's be honest, it's not as sexy, but a bunch of avocado, some jerky, some dried fruit after a workout, increasing your good fat intake. This is what the athletes of old did. And what I will argue is, guys, we all know this. Diabetes has exploded in our modern day society. Alzheimer's in old people, dementia, has exploded. And they're starting to call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes because there's so much evidence to show that taking in a lot of processed carbs and sugar rots your brain as you get older. It does. It doesn't happen in a day or 2 days or a week, but a high level of that's the simple way to put it. It rots your brain by the time you're old. We're seeing a lot of CrossFit athletes, not a lot, but several, back out of CrossFit because they can't handle the pressure, because it's too much for them, this kind of stuff. I can't prove this, and this is maybe a hot take on my part, but I will say that I'm seeing this in athletes that didn't grow up in the gym, that didn't grow up with the CrossFit methodology, that like to brag about how they can, you know, live on Snickers bars. You can run on that, but your brain doesn't run as well on that. Our brain is a machine too that runs on the fuel we give it, and it is not as strong, it does not recover as well, and it is not as capable when you're fueling it with cheap processed carbs. And listen, guys, I know this isn't sexy. No one loves, you know, a piece of key lime pie more than me. I love it. It's delicious. And everything in moderation. We still have to eat in such a way that we can live life and enjoy life. But I will say, modeling yourself after that is a dangerous game. Because one, we're not working out at the level they work out for that long. Two, they're also 25 years old. And even those guys can't do it, you know, as they get a little older. And three, I will say they are paying the price for it. And you're seeing that when they're back out. Because I will say, because they are missing a huge part of the CrossFit methodology, eating whole foods and fueling the machine well, they are not overall as fit. It may not be shown in the physical capability. It might be shown in the mental capability and the mental output. So let me know what your opinions are on that. Next time, I don't know if I'm going to talk more about this or I'll just go to the next Devil's Details. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later.